Game of Thrones Season 7, Episode 3, The Queen's Justice. Now, when we first found the name for this episode, we were wondering, which queen? It's safe to say it was Cersei.
Yeah.
So what were your overall feelings for this episode?
Honestly, I think it's probably one of the better episodes of the whole series, not including big battles or episodes where there's some kind of huge twist or death. But as just a straightforward episode, I think it's probably one of the best in the whole series. Every scene was spectacular.
I think every episode this season has gotten better. They've improved on the last episode. But yeah, this is the best episode so far. All right, so let's get right into it. We've been going scene by scene. We'll start at the beginning, which is probably the best scene. It was a long scene.
Yeah, I'm glad they started out with that. I thought maybe they would have waited till the end for that. They started off right off the bat, Jon and Daenerys finally meeting.
Well, first, Jon and Tyrion.
Oh, yes.
Which was a good reunion. I mean, these two characters, even Jon says it, you don't know me well, but they shared a lot of significant moments in the first season.
Yeah, there's definitely a respect there, and I would say there's a friendship. They both respect each other. They see each other as both coming from similar upbringings where they're not respected, Jon being a bastard, Tyrion being a dwarf. So they kind of share that connection, so it was good to see them back together. I think that was a cool reunion.
And Tyrion goes, oh, you have to tell me the story of how a bastard from Winterfell became the king of the North. And he says, you have to tell me the story of how a Lannister became the hand of the queen to a Targaryen. And he said, it's been a bloody path. These characters have both been through a lot since they left each other. And now the way that they've come together, Tyrion says to Jon, we both survived. And Jon's like, kinda.
Tyrion said he was drunk through most of it too. So.
Which is accurate.
Yeah, he does drink. What else does he do?
Oh, he knows things.
Oh, got it.
How do you know this?
That's what I do. I drink, and I know things.
Yeah, he knows what perpetuity means.
I didn't.
Yeah, if she would have went to Melisandre, she would have been like, whoa, don't ask me.
She should just stick to hyping up Daenerys, because she's good at that.
Yeah. Well, I love that little interaction between Davos and Melisandre. It was kind of a sweet moment, and Davos goes, oh, things have changed here. Things have changed since I was last here burning people alive with Melisandre. When they're walking towards the throne room, too, when the dragon flies over Jon and Davos, and they were both like, what the fuck?
You think he smelled a little Targaryen?
Little Targaryen midichlorians.
It's like, wait a second. Let me go check this out.
Check this guy out, see what he's doing. But yeah, when Melisandre hypes up Daenerys, saying all of her titles, and then they turn to Jon and Davos is like, oh yeah, this is Jon. This is Jon Snow.
You can reach for some titles. I think he can get some out of his journey.
What would be some Jon titles, not to put you on the spot?
The Resurrected. That's all you need. That's a fucking badass title right there.
Jon Snow, the Resurrected. But I do like what he's like. He's the king of the North.
Yeah.
That's it. Their meeting went as well as anybody would expect it to go. I mean, Daenerys isn't going to believe Jon right away. I love how the show, they've naturally handled these interactions. It doesn't feel forced.
You don't expect Daenerys to be like, oh, White Walkers, huh? Here, take it. Take all the dragon glass.
Even though it's
you want
like...
a dragon?
Oh, White Walkers, you ridiculous man. Wait, let me go feed my dragons. Well, we knew that they weren't going to be friends right off the bat.
Yeah.
But I love the way that Daenerys kind of asserted what she's been through. Saying, listen, my life, I'm not some spoiled rich girl who's been given this opportunity. I've fought and won my battles.
Oh, yeah, of course. I think, well, both of them, too. They both probably have some, they cast judgment on one another before knowing the true story. After the episode, I think it was D&D were talking about how she doesn't know what Jon's been through, what he's seen, the White Walkers, and just as Jon doesn't know what Daenerys had to go through to get to this point. I expected this to be her stance where she's not gonna, just let the North have their own king and take away one of her kingdoms. This is what she set her mind to since the very beginning of the series. So,
and I like how Jon complimented her on saying, you could take the Iron Throne, but thousands of people would die, which means that you cared about the lives of the people, that you're not reckless. But I think going forward, Daenerys might let the dragon out, like Olenna said. I also love what Davos said to Daenerys. Why do you think Jon cut him off when he was going to mention that he died? Do you think it's just too ridiculous?
Yeah, it's a little like first White Walkers, and now you're going to say he resurrected?
Not a great first impression.
It's like, I have 3 dragons, and I still can't believe that.
You ridiculous man.
Yeah, fire doesn't hurt me, and I have 3 dragons, but
well,
I'm not going to believe that.
She was kind of resurrected as well. But for her to think that would be so ridiculous, like you said.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I burned down a whole hut, fire everywhere, and I come out just...
Twice. Melisandre and Varys, do you think that conversation between Melisandre, she said she was going back home to Volantis. Varys said, don't come back here because you won't be safe. And she said, no, my destiny is to die here, as is yours. Do you think she was referencing what Varys heard in the flames? Because he seemed very startled by that proclamation.
Well, he gets
Like, it could have been known as like a subtle dig towards Varys, but he was like taken back. How would she know that?
Well, Red Priestess tend to have that effect on him. Remember the one in Marine? He always has to like start the altercation and like says something, and then the Red Priestess just comes back and totally owns him. That's twice now. So maybe Varys, back up a little, because they definitely know shit that you don't want anyone else to know about.
Yeah, and he's always left with that stupid look on his face, like he just had a bunch of spicy food.
He's like, nah, this time I'm gonna get it. It's not gonna happen twice.
He does not like magic.
No. Can you blame him?
And then Theon was saved by, it looks like a ship that's a friendly ship.
Yeah.
Those were his men.
Yep.
Because that move last week, a lot of people criticized him. They said, oh, he's a coward. He went back to being Reek. You live to fight another day.
Yeah, but in the eyes of the Ironborn, that's the coward's way out. You should die fighting. Like they said, you seen her get taken. If you tried to save her, you would have been...
Yeah, but he's not worried about the Ironborn. I think he's worried about what Daenerys thinks. I think he could sacrifice his own life for Yara, the ultimate redemption for that character.
Yeah, it would be nice to see him, even though I fucking can't stand Theon. I still never forgiven.
Well, I love his uncle.
Oh my god, you're on his...
That welcoming fucking parade that he had.
He's eating it up.
He's like, I can't lie, this is making me hard right now. It's got Yara by the rope.
You and me both, you're on.
What? When he has that interaction with Jaime, brother to brother, should I know anything about Cersei, how to make her happy?
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Great job turning that character around.
Oh, yeah.
From last season.
Yeah. A lot of people are probably startled by this character. Where the hell did he come from? Who is this? And that scene between Cersei and Ilaria Sand.
Oh,
one
chilling.
of the darkest scenes that they've done.
I was just thinking the whole time, like, what's Cersei going to do? And then I think it was a suitable revenge to what happened to her, but it's just so twisted. Just to lock them in a room and have a mother watch her daughter basically disintegrate in front of her eyes is just absolutely...
Right, just for the rest of your days to watch your daughter become a skeleton. And I love what Cersei said to Ilaria, too, when she was like, why did you take her from me? Why did you do that? Cersei reverted from her evilness to show the compassion that she had for her daughter. Cersei and Jaime just not hiding it at all, just letting it all hang out.
I mean, who's going to say anything? She's the fucking queen, so...
You think that's Arya?
No.
I thought for a second, I was like, that could be Arya.
She went north, man.
Yeah, maybe. It's funny because the Iron Bank, you don't really think about them playing a major role in Season 7, but here he is, Mycroft Holmes, talking with Cersei. I thought this was one of the best scenes of the episode, too.
The way they broke it down, too, like where it makes sense for the Iron Bank to back Daenerys, how she was talking about...
To back Daenerys or Cersei?
No, well, how Cersei was talking about how Daenerys basically freed the slave cities, which the Iron Bank profited on, pleaded her case for her. So it makes sense that the Iron Bank would back Cersei, even though she seems to be the underdog at the time of this meeting.
I love that line when Cersei says Daenerys thinks of herself as a revolutionary. When have banks ever profited off of revolutionaries? That's a very powerful line, even to modern society. When you think about how these financial institutions, they're not worried about the people, they're worried about themselves. And they are gamblers. And
No, not gamblers. They didn't bet on anything, if you remember correctly.
Okay, what did he say?
I don't remember.
Okay. And then there was another great scene between Jon and Tyrion where Jon says, am I a prisoner? And Tyrion's like, no, you can walk around and check out the island. Go see a dragon or two.
He's always got a little smart remark.
Well, when he tells him, I came here to brood, but you look so much better than I do when you're brooding.
I mean, yeah, you see Tyrion like try to extend his help for Jon, even though Jon doesn't pick up on it right away. But he definitely
Jon kind of regrets going south.
Yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, maybe I should have listened to everyone up north. Stupid
Stark. You're stupid.
Oh no, he's not a Stark.
I'm not a Stark.
That's a badass catchphrase.
He's not a Stark. He's a Targaryen.
House Snow. I'm not a Stark.
That's their words.
Yeah.
Their sigil is a Stark, and it's X'd out. It's kind of funny to think that his two grandpas, his Targaryen grandpa, killed his Stark grandpa. Tyrion, he says that he believes him, and he tells Daenerys, listen, just give him the dragon glass. Whatever. He's out of his mind. Just give him the glass, and maybe he'll side with us.
Tyrion low-key wants to be a Stark.
You think so? Well, too bad he's a Targaryen.
Oh my god, I swear to God, I'll quit.
And then Daenerys points out to Tyrion, what was that whole thing about him taking a knife to the heart? You think they'll find out at some point?
At some point, I mean, they'll probably come up, but like I said, it's kind of ridiculous to imagine resurrection in their eyes.
Do you think Daenerys believes him about the White Walkers? It seems like something that she should believe. I mean, for all the stuff that she's seen, for all the stuff that she's done herself. I mean, she's giving him the glass.
Yeah, I don't think it's as ridiculous to believe as people might think, especially Daenerys, all the things that she's seen and went through. The warlocks, she had Quaithe, the dragons. I mean, she's had her run-in with magic, or supernatural events, so.
Yeah, and I love that exchange where Jon says Tyrion loves to talk, and Daenerys is like, well, we all love to do what we're good at. And Jon's like, not me. I fucking hate this. This sucks. Sansa does not hate it, though. She's a good ruler.
I think this is what her season 5 storyline should have been.
Yes.
Littlefinger showing her, guiding her to be a powerful, self-dependent leader.
Right, and she's also taking precautions for the North, the threat from the North, and the winter that's coming.
Yeah, and she's very good at it, too. I mean,
because in the first episode, she was kind of focused south. She was focused on what Cersei can do. You know, as the ruler, I think you have to put things in perspective.
And she obviously has the respect of the Northern Lords as well.
And she was also creeped out by Bran.
Weren't we all?
Yeah, it's like, you know, you're the three-eyed raven, you have to talk like that, I guess. Hello, Sansa.
He just wheels in. The king of the North!
No, stop that.
Yeah, Sansa, I'm the three-eyed raven. Keep saying that? I don't really know what you mean.
If you keep saying that, it's not going to make more sense, so I'm going to need you to explain things for me.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's kind of gone bananas. You can only imagine all the things that he's seen. To see those two characters back together, because I always love when Starks are reunited.
At first, I'm like, wow, this is such a great reunion, and then Bran's reaction to me.
He didn't even smile.
Three-eyed raven.
He's like, we got business to take care of, man.
It's like, yeah, I know. It's Bran. Three-eyed raven.
Bran.
What's up?
I love when she said, I wish Jon was here. And he's like, yeah, I've got some things to tell him.
It's like, I'm not going to tell you, but just trust me.
Trust me, yeah.
So you know how I know that? It's like, yeah, I also know that you were married to Ramsay, and I watched all those terrible things happen to you.
Yeah, that was kind of freaked her out a bit.
Yeah.
I think it would freak out anybody. Do you think we get a significant... I mean, Bran visions. There's got to be some coming up in the next couple of episodes by the end of Season 7.
I think we get a confirmation about Jon.
Jon and Rhaegar? Because there was a lot of hints at Rhaegar in this episode.
She obviously mentions when she's talking to Jon, the dragons by name, Rhaegar, named after my brother, things of that nature, subtle hints that when you look back after it is revealed to Jon who his parents are, that you can go back and be like, oh yeah.
Jorah's back.
And better than ever.
That worked out well for him. I really wanted them to hug, but the handshake was enough.
Yeah, unless Sam didn't really fix it, then he's kind of fucked himself over there.
Sam was like, bring it in, buddy. Come on. Give me a nice fat kiss.
It's like, I try. I'm good. I read the directions. So many maesters have tried this before but haven't succeeded. Like, what'd you do? It's like, I read the steps and directions. He's like, oh my god, why don't we think of that?
Genius. Well, it seems like a procedure that people have tried, but it just doesn't always work. That it could have just failed, but, you know, good thing for the plot.
Yeah, I do think the scrolls that the Archmaester gave Sam to rewrite, I gotta think that those are about the Long Night and the White Walkers, the writings that Sam asked him for in the last episode.
Oh, all the scrolls that he told him to write down
like,
again.
Would you expect a reward? Wink, wink.
Looks at the camera. His little office. Well, he did say they were old scrolls, so obviously that could be one of the topics that they're about. The storming of Casterly Rock, it was a great callback to the second season when Tyrion is talking to Varys, and he tells him, I was in charge of the sewers, and now we learn that he built a little secret passageway for his women. It's a move that really doesn't work out. I enjoyed the way that it was done, the way it was executed in the show, that Tyrion's narration of how everything's going to go down. But then Grey Worm asks one of the soldiers, where are the rest of the Lannisters? And you called this earlier. You said, Tyrion's a great politician, but he's not really a general. He's a good military mind, but he's not Jaime.
I mean, you see the advantage Cersei has by having these great military minds like Jaime and Euron on the seas, how much of an advantage that can be. You may not have the numbers or dragons, but I don't think anything could beat having the home field advantage.
Well, Casterly Rock is kind of worthless, too.
Yeah,
I think they overestimated it.
Yeah, that's what Jaime
said.
Well,
Tyrion didn't know also that it was basically broke, that there was no gold anymore in Casterly Rock. Well, we see that in Season 4 with Tywin and Cersei when they're talking about, we mined our last gold mines years ago, dude. We have no more money. So we need Highgarden.
It's like the start of a terrible comedy movie. Yeah, we're broke now. You guys got to start getting real jobs.
Oh, Dad. Well, Jaime, I like that callback too. When Jaime says to Olenna, that conversation was great, where he talks about learning from his mistakes. He did to Tyrion what Robb Stark did to Jaime in Season 2. And Olenna says, well, if you learn from your mistakes, you must be very wise.
That's the best scene of the episode.
Yeah.
As great as Game of Thrones is at doing battles and all these shocking
plots.
Well,
one more thing I want to point out. In the War of the Five Kings, we don't see a lot of battles.
Well, that's what I was saying. As much as we love the great battles and the great plot twists and shocking deaths, Game of Thrones is at its strongest, and scenes like this, two people on opposite sides talking to each other and just, my God, Diana Rigg is just fantastic in this role.
She went out swinging like she...
Even when she's about to die, she still gets the last word.
Now, you kind of said you kind of felt bad for Jaime during that scene.
I mean, he kind of was doing
that. She revealed that she killed Joffrey. I was like, fuck yeah. Fuck Cersei, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't feel bad for Joffrey.
As much as I like Jaime, still, fuck Joffrey. I do not care about.
Yeah, but
even if it is.
No, I
his
kind of
son.
felt bad. Like Jaime kind of
Took mercy
did
on her.
all he could. Like took mercy on her, and she still had to fucking. Well, I mean, that's the character too. That's the Queen of Thorns.
All right, for the next on Game of Thrones, we see Cersei talking to the Iron Bank, and it looks like the Iron Bank is going to back the crown.
Yeah, it makes sense, and it looks like they're getting. It looks like they're taking the Tyrell gold from Highgarden.
Yeah.
So give them a little bit, maybe not give them all that's due, but like you said before, like the Iron Bank's interests aren't necessarily aligned with Daenerys' interest. If Cersei can somehow pull this off, they'll be much better off.
And then we see Daenerys almost, it looks like pleading to Jon, saying, I'm losing. I'm losing this battle. We need your help. You can have dragons, you can have Dothraki. That doesn't mean you're going to win. I think next week is when she unleashes a dragon. That's the final shot of the next on Game of Thrones. I think that's going to be the battle, the Field of Fire 2.0 between the Lannisters and the Targaryens.
Yeah, let the dragon come out. That's enough. I mean, it's honorable, it's respectable that you're not trying to have as many casualties of war.
Well, now she doesn't have to sack a city. She doesn't have to kill the innocent people. The army is in the open field.
Yeah, true.
So it's the perfect opportunity to attack. So that move that Cersei and Jaime had, let's take Highgarden, that's going to come back to bite them. Do you think Jaime kicks the can next episode?
No.
No.
It's going to... I
You
think
still
Jaime's
think
demise,
he's going to kill Cersei?
Jaime's demise is going to go hand in hand with Cersei.
And then we get a couple of shots of Jon and Daenerys mining the dragon glass, or at least looking at the mines.
Do you think anything could be down there?
Maybe
There's a little like quick little snap of Daenerys kind of like looking like, oh, surprised, shocked. Maybe just the amount of dragon glass, like, oh shit, I didn't even know this was here.
Yeah, there could be maybe something that the Targaryens built down there, but this could be Jon taking steps into convincing Daenerys. Do you think it's possible that Jon and Daenerys align against Cersei at any point this season?
Jon's made it clear that he doesn't care anything about the war, not the Five Kings anymore, but the war for the Iron Throne.
Him not bending the knee is kind of a Mance Rayder thing. It's like, I just can't do it because my people won't respect me anymore. I'm going to die the King of the North. Because Tyrion makes a point to him. He says, if you don't care about these wars, then just bend the knee and go back north.
Along with bending the knee is Daenerys using the northern men to attack Cersei. And again, I don't think it's more about pride. When Mance Rayder didn't bend the knee, it was more out of pride, I think. I don't think Jon sees Daenerys as an enemy right now, the way that the Wildlings viewed the Night's Watch. And I think Jon not necessarily doesn't take her threats to have much weight, but I think he even tells Daenerys, like, I know why you didn't just sack King's Landing, that you have good in you have a conscience. So I don't think he views Daenerys as someone that would just, all right, you don't bend the knee, I'm going to destroy the North and kill all your people.
There's even a moment where Dany says, enough with the clever plans. I think this is probably directed towards Tyrion.
I mean, if you look at Tyrion's track record so far as Hand of the Queen, hasn't really done the best job. You look at what happened in Marine, the deal he made that backfired, and now his plans going forward with Westeros.
Well, they seem to be too nice. They're not playing the game like Cersei's playing the game. Cersei will sacrifice the common folk to keep the throne. Even Jaime says that. If Cersei wins and she builds a new world, do you think people are going to care how she built it?
Go back to when Tyrion said that when he was talking to Cersei back in season 2, I believe, or 3, when he's like, you're still not as clever as you think you are. She's kind of winning.
Yeah, don't underestimate
battle
Cersei.
Of wits between the two right now. So I think he thinks that he knows what Cersei's going to do, but
I think he also knows that he's sitting on a couple of nuclear weapons with the dragons. Of course, you also have to do a season finale.
But that's a last resort type of thing.
Yeah.
After they lose the first 2 rounds.
Aegon didn't use them as a last resort. Aegon was the first resort. I got 10,000 soldiers. I'm just going to burn your fucking crew. Then we get a shot of, it looks like Littlefinger's dagger, but Varys' hands.
Yeah, I assume it's Varys' hand.
Yeah.
But it is definitely Littlefinger's dagger.
And everybody points to, in the promotional material, that Arya had the dagger. But Arya's going north, Varys is south. This is like a mystery to me. Do you think Arya maybe went back? No, because we also see a shot of Arya overlooking Winterfell.
Yes. I can't really do much speculating on it because I honestly can't connect the dots right now, but I'm sure either maybe Varys gives them the dagger as a token of goodwill, like Balerion Steel kills these White Walkers. Here, I have this, take it.
Okay, yeah, that's a wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. And then there's a moment where Brienne looks like she's fighting somebody and Podrick falls on the floor. So, invaders at Winterfell?
But who?
The Brotherhood? We haven't seen them in a couple episodes. Maybe they take them as enemies at first and like, no, we're here to help.
That's a good point.
Well, we're both making good points.
Mine was better, though.
Why are our voices getting higher? And then the final shot is Drogon.
One big dragon.
I mean, we saw it at the end of season 6 when she destroys the Master's ships. This is going to be epic.
Yeah, that was more of a shooting fish in a barrel. This looks more of...
It was a warm-up.
Yeah.
This is going to be Daenerys fulfilling her destiny as Aegon 2.0.
So you think she takes the advice, she goes against the advice and just takes Drogon?
Oh, yeah, no. She's definitely going to take out that army. The Lannisters, it's going to be Field of Fire. It's going to be history repeating itself.
Jon hops on one because a little help.
So what would you give the episode out of 10?
Honestly, I'd have to give it a 10. It was a solid episode all the way through. Every scene was great moments. The acting was fantastic. You see Daenerys, you see Emilia Clarke in that first interaction with Jon when she's going over all the things that happened to her. That's probably some of the strongest acting she's done throughout the series. And even, I think I'm saying this right, I think I'm saying this wrong. Adira Varma, who plays Illyria Sand, she was fantastic in that scene. You could tell the emotion that she portrayed.
Not even saying anything, just...
Lena Headey as Cersei.
Oh, she just...
Perfect.
So good. She might be the best actor in the whole show.
I said that before.
Yeah, I'd probably give this episode a 9 out of 10.
You son of a bitch. Wait, isn't Rick and Morty on?